Here's a water heater and it is leaking down here at the cold water. So the first step, let's remove it from the power and that lamp should turn off. This has a protection inside here in the center. It's called a magnesium anode, and that anode should be replaced by this one. So this was bought separately. It has a thread at this end and that portion can be removed just in case the diameter is different. So power is disconnected, but we have to release the water also from inside. The cold water side is a short pipe and the hot water is a long pipe. So water will be released on this one. This is a flexible hose and here is the end, so I will disconnect that one. Plus I will loosen the hot water so that air can enter and thus the cold water will exit. There is rust there, up there, and that went down and it's oxidized. It's already black compared to the other one. So it's not leaking here, but up there. Here we have some specifications also. It's a 30-liter 1500 watt Ariston water heater. The water should be released here and I will use this hose insulation. So this is not yet cut at the edge there and water should not leak out, and it is around 2 meters long. So this will be connected to this upper portion and hopefully the water will flow from this into this and I will add another one later if the water quantity is larger. So here's the key. I will loosen this one. It is already loose. This end here, this is already leaking. Of course it's already leaking because I forgot to shut off the water. So this water goes to the water heater. Start the water. That's the cold water and that's the hot water. So there is no pressure in the hot side. Water is being released from up there. Bubbling sounds. Air is entering here as I hear. Now it is disconnected and water is not flowing. Water is not flowing here either. So let's loosen the hot water and hopefully it will flow there. I added a clamp, so hopefully that should hold it and not fall off. There is no water here yet. Now let's loosen this. Air is entering. Water starts flowing. Yes, it's flowing. By loosening the warm water, air enters and water flows out on the cold one. So this is the tap from where you can adjust the quantity of water. It's not leaking here, but it is flowing as you can see. So the cold water is being released into this bucket using a flexible hose insulation, and the amount of water released is being controlled from here, from the red, from the warm water. More water, less water. It's even moving. Now let's wait until this is emptied. The water has bubbles. The magnesium anode, which is here in the center, is decomposed already. It's almost filled. So let's close this one and replace the bucket. Another one. Let the water flow. The clamp is very helpful. Water is flowing inside. What will happen if I open the tap? Nothing. Actually, there is this portion which is holding the entire hose. Air enters here, water exits there. No rust on the red, but there is rust on the blue. Enough. Close it and replace it. New container, more water. Luckily this is flexible. Now the pressure is lower. Water is still dripping. It is held by this. There. Now let's remove the front cover. Those screws are not installed, so just remove it from the center. Theoretically there is no power, so remove those. Polarity should not matter because it's alternating current. That's on the other side. Now let's remove these two. I want to remove the entire heater of the wall. That one also. Okay, just a few jobs. Electricity is disconnected and water is disconnected. We can remove it off the wall. Just lift it up and pull it towards you. There is water inside because that hose is around that tall, so below that one there is water. What? Engedd csak meg a csapot ott nálad, a meleget. Okay, let's close the warm water also. Water is sucked up from here, lifted up on this side, and it is dripping down. Capillary action, I guess. By the way, that is rust from the heater. The color of the water from inside the heater is interesting. The water which comes out from the cold water pipe looks like coffee. Now here remove the two power connectors and the ground, and then the four screws which are holding the entire unit here. Just loosen it. Those require a hexagonal key. Now let's remove only the center portion. This one, not the metal. There is no problem here. This is not submerged in water. That's the temperature sensor, and the heater is that one. So this was inside here, and those two were there. It was just pushed in. Comes the uglier part. We have to remove this one. This screwdriver is too thin. That should be good, hopefully. Now you have to rotate it, and it comes out. It's a little bit rusted. The magnesium anode is here. I mean, it was here, so probably that's why it is rusting. Magnesium anode is missing. It was totally used up. So the temperature sensor is inside this one, and that's the heater element, and there is the magnesium anode. The newer one looks like this. Now I have to clean it and see if I can screw it in. It's missing, completely empty. The rubber seal looks okay. Let's take a look inside. That in the center is the warm water, which is that one. That is long, that is visible there. That has to be water. Yes, the light is from the phone, so I will flush that out. And there we can see the water inlet. So only that coffee-like looking thing is being released. I'm not sure if it's damaged, we will see. I should remove that also. By the way, that black thing is hard. It's not soft. That one is hard. Metal-like looking thing. So probably that was decomposed. That's the coffee-like looking thing. Let's try to wash the inside. I'm curious of the color of the water. Yes, chocolate, coffee, black coffee. water should enter there, but that doesn't look too well. It's rusty. So this is the magnesium anode, that chocolate-like looking thing which was here on the side, on the inside. Of course the dirty water is barely flowing out here, because this has a type of mesh there, and all that dirt should pass through that, and it can't through that one. So that has to be cleaned with the water jet or something. The water should come out here, not there, because it will clog it even more. Look, magnesium anode. Like sand. It was washed a few times. And it looks better. Surprisingly better. Ooh, look at that. I can see the spring. But there is rust under it. I guess that's rust. That's why it was dripping. And it's rusty there also. At the welding. It might be rusty there also, or just the anode, I'm not sure. I need to clean it a little bit more, so it's not too bad. Now here the water jet is attached to this step. Let's try to clean it. So I'm trying to clean the cold water inlet and do the same thing on the inside also. Let's remove this also. Rust-like looking thing. More interesting things from the inside. So that has to be the magnesium anode. It's decomposing in my hand also. Magnesium anode. It's very thin, around 5 millimeters in diameter here. Now in order to insert it there, I have to remove this outer one and somehow try to insert it there. That should be cleaned inside if you have the right tool. It is working. Surprise. I was not expecting that. That's the heating element. Both of them, this and that. There's the thermometer. Only one. And that's the new magnesium anode. Just thread it in, power it, and we will see if it's leaking or not. Now this rubber also contains some rust-like looking thing, so clean that also, something like that. Let's insert this. Insert the lower portion, that temperature sensor at 90 degrees. By the way, the rubber has to enter here. That rubber here, and that bottom has to go there. And insert the screws and thermostat and the wire to the thermostat. This should not enter in contact with water, neither those and that one. green yellow is usually the ground. On the wall, this was holding it, and it was pulled out a little bit, as you can see. I'll put some new Teflon tape onto that one. Something like that. You can break this because it's soft. I forgot that one. Okay, I will not remove it, but I will cut it. It's soft plastic. Now put the hoses back. This has rubber inside, so it should seal. Flexible hoses are very good in this case. You can easily modify things. There's the overflow valve, overpressure valve. Oops, it's moving there also. So I tightened this lower one. Now let's just see what will happen. Add some water. Just gently, not all the way. Nothing happens. Now the water is compressing all the air which is inside. It's not leaking yet. Cold water is flowing, warm water is not flowing. Yes, I forgot this also. That's the warm water output. Gently open it. That's why there was no pressure. Now there is something. Now open that one. It's filling up all the 30 liters. Water is entering into the water heater. I will not connect it to power unless water stops flowing. Maybe the water is below the heater's level, so there's nothing to cool down that heater. Now we have bubbles. That's a good sign. Water has been eliminated. Pressure is accumulating. The sound is lower and it's disappearing, and it's leaking up there, so tighten those. It's leaking less. It's still leaking a little bit. Small amounts because it is tightening rubber. Now the air is escaping. Interesting sounds. Water is not escaping. It's still leaking. Water is dripping from above, luckily from here, not from there. Now it seems to be okay. Condensation, that's another thing, because it's full of cold water. Cover your cold water with such foam, because the moisture from air will condensate on a cold surface. So put these back. It has a cut, and you just put it around the pipe hose. It has a cutout for that. So the insulation was added, and currently it's not leaking. At least the magnesium anode was replaced and the inside was cleaned. And if it's leaking, then it's time to replace it. Let's insert the power also. I did not edit the light. So connect these two. Power is disconnected. That one there and another one there. Now the knob has to match with this. And it didn't want it to. So there is a cut on the right side. So let's push this on. Like so. Now the light should turn on. And it's on. And after a while, the water should be warm. That's not a good sign. So clean that interior around the rubber well, because otherwise it's not tight enough. And here we have some technical details about the magnesium anode.